welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that has been clearly overlooked for years. Let's say almost 43 years. But imagine being misdiagnosed for 43 years and going through your life being told that you cannot learn. You have some learning problems. You're slow. I hate to use this word, retarded, and all kind of foul, discouraging words. And you have parents that don't understand what the problem is. And in the same concept, you're getting bullied at school. And as a child growing up, you still don't know what's going on because science hasn't caught up with what you're going through. I read this book that came across my desk from a young lady that basically it was a story about her, what she went through. And it was hard to believe that it took 43 years for her to be correct diagnosed, all the way from Boston area, Boston, Massachusetts, home of the New England Patriots, which she's not a fan of, but I'll let her tell you that. I'd like to welcome to the show, Miss Jennifer Ivy Wexler. Welcome to the show, Jennifer.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Great. This is your first podcast. So I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna let the viewers know this is your first. You might be a little nervous. But before we get started, tell the viewers a little bit about who Jennifer Ivy Wexler is.
So I am 48 years old, born in Framingham, Massachusetts. Grew up in a middle class family. I had my birth mother committed suicide when I was 3 years old. My mother, who I call her my mother, Jerry, she adopted me and my sister when I was 4 years old. Never knew how my birth mother killed herself or anything. It was a secret. We weren't allowed to talk about it. If we did, they changed the subject. So I was conditioned to never ask questions. Everything happened on specific dates, anniversary dates, Father's Day. Didn't realize it until I published when I was doing my research for the book. Didn't know anything about that.
When you was going to school, you shared with me so much information, and I appreciate it because your story is definitely heartfelt. Take the viewers down what it was like when the journey started, when you started going to school and getting bullied, and we're going to take them piece by piece into this life in this book.
Okay. So I have no memory. The one memory I have is of the nanny that we had, who I thought was my mother. And she was so amazing. I wish, I could find her. I tried to look for her for a while, and then she left because my father married Jerry, who adopted me, and then Nora, the nanny, left. And I'm like, why did she leave? Why does everyone keep leaving me? I didn't understand. I knew something was wrong with me because, my mother would say, how do you know the words to every single song, but you can't understand math? You can't do this or that. I said, I don't know. So she started singing to me like my name slowly, Jennifer, like in a jingle type of way. And that's how I learned how to, learn things. But yes, I was bullied my entire life, told I was stupid, not paying attention, by teachers, everyone. And I knew something was wrong. it wasn't a regular learning disability.
Right. What did the teachers say, when you got to do certain things in school that can become indicators of a learning difficulty? Did they do these things with you? Did they share this with your parents?
Yes, they were
Or
all,
not your parents, but the person's your caregiver, because your mom committed suicide. Your dad, did he remarry another same spouse person, or did he remarry her? Because you say your dad, you share some information about your dad, so I'm trying to get some clarification on that.
he remarried Jerry, who was my mom, is my mom.
Okay.
Uh, and my mom actually was one of the editors for Exposed.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
And then on Father's Day, um, I don't remember. I think I was a junior in high school. He sat us all down. I remember every detail of that day and told us that he was gay. And
This is your father, correct?
on Father's Day, yes,
So on Father's Day, at a young age, your
six,
father, 17, your father,
16.
16, and your father just says, hey, I like other men.
Yeah, he had a long speech and said, some people are black, some people are white, some people are purple, some people are gay. I am gay. You cannot tell anyone. You'll be judged. No one will understand, this. You're gonna be upset and disappointed. He was shaking. I didn't know what was going on. And then he said at the same time, by the way, your birth mother committed suicide. Um, your birth mother committed suicide. Because again, like we didn't know that much.
Right. You
But
knew
we said,
what he told you. Everything was a code of silence, the no
correct,
talk zone. And then at
correct.
17, all of a sudden the floodgates began to open up. But let's go back a minute. You're still dealing with your own situations with learning. Was that
Mhm.
even addressed with, he's still your father. Was that even addressed to him that, hey, Jennifer may have some handicaps here that we need to look into?
Yes, they were aware of that. My teachers would, the report cards would say, not good at math. She doesn't pay attention. She's horrible at spelling. I hated to read. Um, my mom would they'd make me go to my room and read, and I would like be like this and take a nap. Um, so yeah.
So let's move a little bit further.
Mm,
And let me clarify with the audience, this is a judge-free zone. And you still have been diagnosed with this particular situation that we won't talk about right now. I'll let you lead into it. So we're going to take it slow. We're going
yeah.
to work at your pace and what you feel comfortable doing. Okay. So let's move a little bit further. You get 17, you turn 18, you get a little bit older. The 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 when did they diagnose you, and what was the diagnosis before we get into the later years after 17? Because you're getting ready to be 18 and considered an adult. When did you get diagnosed? About what age, and what did they diagnose you with?
The first few times,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't remember what ages, but general learning disability. That was
Okay,
it.
that was
And
it.
um, I think I was 42 when
Mhm.
I got the correct diagnosis. I was at, I believe it was Boston's, it was a hospital in Boston,
Mhm.
and I was there for 6 hours.
What
Tested, they
what
tested.
made you what made you what made you go to, let's go back a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay, so your dad drops the bomb
yeah,
on you. You're still dealing with what you got to do. I don't want to move too fast for the
yeah.
viewers. So I want to keep it in almost a chronological order here. So your dad drops the bombshell boom at 17 years old. You're getting ready to be 18. you still suffering from this particular diagnosis. How do you now begin to navigate into adulthood?
I was confused. I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I started having panic attacks. I didn't know what it was. I never knew anyone. Never knew anyone that had panic attacks, or no one talked about it. Same with some of the medical diagnoses I have. I felt very alone. I felt ashamed. I knew something wasn't right.
What did you
And
feel ashamed about, Jennifer? What were some of the things you felt ashamed about? And were these the same things that you felt ashamed about in your younger years?
I just have this feeling of shame, like um, I'm not good enough. Um, I'm unlovable. I'm unworthy, because I think it stemmed from childhood
Mhm.
when I was always trying to please everyone and get attention and do the right thing.
Were there ever any, before you actually get into your adulthood and so forth, were there any role models? Because you mentioned being bullied, you have a learning disability, you're
Mm.
feeling unloved, unwanted. With all this, was two-part question. Was there, did anybody step up to to offer comfort to you during this time period of your life?
My mother, number one, and then my father, my sister, my family.
Okay. So
I
even though your father shared that surprise to you, he was still supportive of what you was going through as well. So he didn't
well,
just become self-absorbed in himself.
he did at that time. He was very self-absorbed.
Okay.
He was completely different at the end. He just died 3 years ago.
Sorry.
No, thank you. That's okay.
So now that you said you're feeling all of these things, unloved, unwanted, you been diagnosed with what I call, I don't even know why they even call it that, because that can be a whole range of things. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
But how does that affect you into your adulthood? Relationship wise, being able to communicate with individuals. How does that how do you navigate now? Before you got the diagnosis, what was your daily routine before you got the correct diagnosis? Because clearly you've dated, you have relationships. What was that like before you got the correct diagnosis?
The difficult. I constantly dated the same type of men, um, that were like my father, um, constantly trying to, please them and never feeling good enough. I would do everything for them and they would treat me horribly. And I believed that I deserved that. And this is how it is. I'm, just like my dad, I wasn't good enough and, you know, felt unworthy and unloved. And that's how I got into fitness.
Okay.
Um,
Did your dad ever say he loved you, that you were beautiful? Did he ever show
yes,
signs of compassion in the earlier days, not
yes.
now? Okay.
Mhm.
Why do
And
you why do you think that? How long did this spiral happen in your life where you're picking the wrong guys and picking the wrong people? How do you even with this? I'm trying to take the viewers into the disability part, because
yeah,
this has to be hard. I'm pretty sure there was moments in your life where it probably took you forever just to get up out of bed and really face the world. Like outside of the relationship wise, just facing the world. What was that like for you?
it was hard. I felt very alone, confused. Like when I got the diagnosis, the correct one, it was a relief to me because I knew, I was like, oh my God, this everything makes sense now.
Hmm.
And it's just like the way, I mean, do you want me to start talking about it now?
Tell the viewers exactly what, if you remember the day or the date or the year that you was diagnosed and what the diagnosis was. And more importantly, why did you go to get diagnosed? Because evidently you realize something just isn't right now.
Well, it was around 42 years old. Don't
Okay.
remember the exact date. Why? Because I'm a very determined person.
Okay.
When I say I'm gonna do something, I do it
Okay.
like 100%.
Straight up beast.
Beast mode. Yeah. And so the diagnose I was it was a 6-hour test, and
Do you remember what the test is called? Just out of curiosity.
I don't remember
Okay.
exactly
Okay. That's fine.
ability, but I mean they went in so much detail to what like, oh, in the report, her nails looked nice, and just everything about me, my mood, my math score testing, all this stuff.
Hmm.
And of course, I didn't understand it. And I said, can you explain to me, talk to me like I'm a 4-year-old, because that's how I learn.
Right.
Right. I have to write everything down. So, what it is she said, it's the expression, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's hyperlexia. So it's called nonverbal learning disability, right hemisphere. There's certain reasons it could happen. I do believe it was from eight, and it's usually ages 0 through 3 from trauma.
What
Um,
type of trauma were they specific about? What type? A blow to the head, maybe a fall, lack of
yeah,
oxygen.
there's multiple. Yeah, it could be trauma. It could be you hit your head. There could be no reason at
Right.
all. Just happened. It has to do with white matter in your brain.
Hmm.
And there is a doctor that I interviewed with about this to learn more about it.
Hmm. How
And
many individuals out of your study, roughly, what's the percentage of individuals that probably have been diagnosed with this?
it's like 5% of the population, or less than that.
Wow.
But it was unheard of. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
So now that you've been correctly diagnosed with it,
Mhm.
you've done some remarkable things. You
Yeah.
wrote a best book that I love.
Thank
The
you.
Yeah, the Exposed. What was Why did you feel the need to write Exposed? Just, out of curiosity for the viewers, what was the need for this? Because clearly you look at 43, you look great for 43, but
Yeah,
just
but thank you. Yeah.
just think about it now. It took that long to get properly diagnosed. I can just imagine what you must have went through trying to just navigate what might seem normal for individuals. It don't mean that we're special than you. It just means that we have different ways of coping with different things a lot quicker than what you may do. Like you said, reading a book, I can sit here and do it like this. It may take you a little bit different pathways of doing this. But the question is, how, with the new diagnosis, has life been different for you, and why the need for the book exposure?
So the way in the report, it did say I should never be in a job where I'm multitasking. Um,
Okay, because that's too much information.
okay.
That is that what they're saying? That's too much information for you to have to decipher.
Yeah, because I have to like concentrate on one thing. So the reason I wrote it was for cathartic reasons. and it wasn't about the money at all. I didn't want anyone else to have to go through what I went through. I wanted people not to feel alone. I wanted to inspire people, to show them how, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, how to work with it, you know, and it just was very important to me and like cathartic, like I said. I wrote,
You mentioned something that was very profound,
yes,
and I didn't even think about this. You mentioned they share with you because we have to work. We have to find something that we like to do. That's just a part of life. You go to work, but they give you special instructions that you don't want to be in a multitask role. And I remembered this. I'm sorry I didn't bring this up earlier. You shared with me, you've had problems on the workforce, which is kind of sad because you would think in any type of workforce that there would be a department or during the pre-interview process that you can share kind of like not the full blown, but hey, I've been diagnosed with this. Can you make sure that you put me in a job that I want to work, but put me here? Share the viewers some of the hardships that have happened with you in the workforce with the particular diagnosis.
well, like for example, one of the things with this learning disability is you don't understand social cues. I don't understand social cues. I don't, if you sit there with your arms crossed, I think you're mad at me. If you text a certain way, I take it the wrong way. Um, I would stand at the fax machine for literally an hour because I couldn't figure out how to fax the correct way, but I'm like determined I'm going to do this. And people be like, what is wrong with her?
Right.
Um, I would get pulled into the office, my boss's office, every day for something. I had a calendar with cats on it. They were like fat cats. It was funny. One day I got pulled into the office saying, there's people complaining that that's animal cruelty. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? One, I was prepping for a show at the time, and they complained that got pulled in. There's complaints about the smell of your food. And I'm like, mm-hmm. And I got to the end where I knew, I was friends with a girl and she turned on me. She became my manager, completely turned on me. I ended up getting the HR came. Was put in a conference office. My boss saying, we have a file this thick on you. Um, and
Were they aware? Jennifer? Were they aware of your situation? Did you share with them your situation? Because maybe if they had known a little bit, maybe they would have acted a little bit different. Because it's almost like buyer beware. If I don't know, not saying that what they did was right or wrong. To treat people bad is bad in general, but the fact that the way in which I process information and the way that you process information is totally different. Were they aware that the the processing of information is different for you than it is for them? So you can actually be better at what they wanted you to do?
no, because like I said, I was ashamed of it at the time.
Okay.
And I remember being in a conference room and 20 people, and one of the managers was saying, if I had a competent assistant, maybe I could do my job. And I sat there pinching myself, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I got up, ran to the bathroom, bawling my eyes out. Um, so I ended up getting fired, like literally escorted out of the building.
Wow.
Um, and I did, a ton of research on Americans with Disabilities Act. In my books, I do a lot of research, interview doctors, people, um, and
What do you tell somebody, Jennifer, that's in a situation like this? Because I can understand where you're coming from. You didn't want everybody. You didn't want to be an open book with what you had.
Yeah.
Maybe things would have been different had that been disclosed. I'm a firm believer that employers need to be more aware of these things with individuals, but I also think that individuals. I got the question. I got it right here. What would
Yeah.
have made you? What would have made you comfortable in sharing your disability to perform at your highest at your place of work? What would have made you comfortable to share that information with them so you wouldn't be judged, where you wouldn't be ridiculed, where you can go in and be an effective individual in the workforce?
Well, this is why I started my own business, because it happened to me about 2 months ago, the same thing. I ended up resigning because I could feel, the depression coming on again.
Mhm.
And I woke up at 2 in the morning and I said, I'm either going to go back to the hospital, um, or I don't know what. It was at 2 in the morning. I went on my computer and I said, effective immediately as of 2:01 a.m., I'm resigning.
Did you share with them your diagnosis?
They all read my book. But I didn't. Yes, I did. I did share it with the manager.
Okay. So you
But
still, so, but the outcome was still the same. So was, what do you think needs to change? Let's put it out there. What do you think needs to be changed? Because clearly you're not the only one that's in this situation, and you're here to make a change and create
yeah,
awareness with mental illnesses. So what do we need to do as a society, as individuals, society, and in the workforce to make it a comfortable environment for all that may have some type of mental challenge, no matter what it is? What do you think we need to do?
people need to educate themselves and understand the severity of these mental illnesses. And you can't go around throwing, saying this person's narcissistic, this person has this disorder when you're not a doctor. Um, so same with suicide. I'd like to people to be aware, to learn how to help someone who has it, um, to work with them,
Mhm.
instead of, because some people who have never experienced depression don't understand it and think, oh, you're just having a bad day, get over it,
Mhm.
which I hear all the time. Or you don't have OCD, you're just being ridiculous. um, which is very frustrating. So I think people definitely need to educate themselves, which is what I'm trying to do, and also like inspire them and show them how to live with it.
Okay. What's next for you? You got exposed. The book is doing great. I encourage everybody to pick up that book and read it. And really, it takes you into what you went through even deeper than what we're doing on this show. It's definitely a must read. What are you doing currently now? You're advocating. What else are you doing? And how can the viewers reach out to you?
So I'm the owner and founder of JW Productions LLC. I'm a video producer, as well as a specialist for a fitness federation, Body Language Spoken Events, owned and found by Kevin Topka. Um, so I'm working on that. A lot of projects. I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to ruin the book.
Okay. So you are writing another book. What's the name of the book?
I'm on my second book, Resurgence.
Okay. And
So,
that would be
mhm.
out pretty soon, right?
Well, I've been kind of busy getting things just kind of, I wasn't expecting this. I just did a show, did 26 weeks of prep for a show and a photo
Okay.
shoot. Was not expecting this at all, and it just kind of blew up in a good way. So right now I would like to, get go. I did 6 chapters on Resurgence, but I gotta, keep editing it.
Okay.
Again, this is the book.
Okay.
You can get it on Amazon. I'm gonna try and run a promotion on it,
Okay.
and you can find me on YouTube. I'll have to look at that. This where YouTube is found. You can reach me at info@jwproductions.world. All the links are on there, so if you go on the website, it will link you directly to buy my book,
Okay.
directly to everything I'm doing. And I'm
Great.
also on my website, I do have a charity page, a link with multiple charities, including National Kidney Foundation, mental health, suicide aware prevention, awareness, obviously mental illnesses, learning disability, and the NVLD that a lot of people can relate to.
Sounds like a winner. You know what? I appreciate you taking time to come and share your story, your journey. Definitely have that beast mindset. My hat's off to you. You're making a difference with the book Exposed, the new book about to come out. You're definitely changing the world one person at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton
Thank
Show.